So what are some of the signs that show that you have either a spending or a savings problem?
Finance has so many factors contributing to your wealth, and so we've tried to really simplify it and narrow it down to two main categories. It's like a double-edged sword. You can either spend too much or save too little.
A little bit of background facts and information. The median household savings total accounts is about $3,000 to $5,000. Yikes.
The cool thing is savings rate actually increased by about 30% during the pandemic. Also, credit and debt paydown also increased. Unfortunately, a lot of people did get into more debt during the pandemic because of their fat little stimulus check, threw it down for a down payment on a car or house, and got into a little bit more debt that way.
And guys, comment down below. Experts say to save 20% of your income. Comment if you disagree or if you agree with this statement and why. And just to be clear with everyone, we always recommend investing the majority of your saving. We want you to invest your money. Although it is important that you do save your money for an emergency fund, your rainy day, or if you're saving up for a larger purchase, make sure you're saving up for this so it doesn't hit you all at once as a big doozy.
Super important to have liquid money. So we just want to get out there that there's a big difference between saving money and earning money. Imagine you are saving $100 a month. You now have $100 less to spend that month. And then on the flip side, imagine if you earned $100 more that month. You then have $100 more that month. The difference between these two scenarios is about $200.
So it's true that when we make more money, like if we get a raise, our lifestyle tends to inflate and we start to spend a little bit more money. The goal, however, is to make more money, but spend less money and save more. So here in Life in Equilibrium, we are all about having things cheap and making a lot of money, and that difference is our happy spot. One of the key takeaways, something we want everyone to know is when you get a raise, live like you didn't get the raise and save that extra amount instead of spending it.
So let's look at some signs of saving and spending problems. And if you agree with any single one of these, make sure you drop a like.
So let's look at some signs that you know you have a savings problem. Number one, you don't know how much money you make and you don't know how much money you save each month. That's a big doozy.
Yikes.
No.
Another big sign that you have a savings problem is you don't even have a savings plan. You don't have a plan put together at all.
That'll do it to you. You only have one or two bank accounts. And what this means is kind of like you have one checking account and one savings account. What you really should be doing is having multiple different savings accounts for different purposes. For example, have one for a trip fund, have one for saving up for a home, have another for a rainy day fund. And this will help allocate your money so that you actually are able to save it for different purposes.
And right along with yours is to pay yourself first. If you aren't paying yourself first, chances are you have a savings problem. What you should be doing when you get your money is you should be allocating it to these different accounts. And that's where your money should be going before you start blowing money on knives and full body massages and trips to Spain and all that good stuff.
Because what happens is a lot of people, they spend their money and then they're like, oh, I don't have any money left over to save.
Yeah, exactly.
So you save it first so then you don't have money to spend on pointless things.
Make it automatic. That's the way you automatically become a millionaire right there.
That's true. Another way is you're not saving for anything in specific, or you don't have a goal in mind. And Jay kind of talked about this, is you need a savings plan. If you're not saving for anything in specific, it's kind of hard to save your money. Yeah. So come up with a goal, write it down. What are you saving your money for? And this will help you save money.
Another huge sign that you have a savings problem is you don't have enough money to invest.
Oh.
And that kind of ties into pay yourself first. Like you have to throw money into some investments because investments are a fantastic option to just kind of let your money sit there and grow and grow and grow without you really having to think about it. Your savings accounts will give you like a 0.03% interest rate. Like that's nothing compared to like the S&P 500 index, which is, there's a whole bunch of different numbers, anywhere from 8 to 12% over the last 30 years.
So now that we've talked about signs that show you have a savings problem, let's look about some signs that show you have a spending problem. I know this one might be a little more tedious.
I know, this one's like a little more sensitive.
It might hurt, poke a couple buttons, but we'll go with it.
Let's get in. All right. This one's so silly to me, but it's a legit thing. If you are hiding your purchases from other people, that probably means you have a little bit of guilt and you know you shouldn't be buying whatever you're buying.
Another one is just going shopping to get that high. And it actually can happen.
It's a real thing.
You get a high from shopping and buying things you like. Jake actually talked about it. We've had conversations where instead of buying the thing, he'll just research and look at it, and he gets that same high at looking and researching knives, and he doesn't have to spend as much money.
If you are maxing out all of your credit cards and you have like 5 to 10 credit cards that are all maxed out and you're making the minimum monthly payments on all those credit cards, there's a huge chance that you have a spending problem.
And if that's happening, Dave Ramsey says to chop them up, just cut them up, get rid of them.
Plastic surgery, quote unquote. If you are literally buying things that you don't have space for just to buy things, there's a giant chance that you have another spending problem.
And going along with that, forgetting all the things that you own. If you don't know what you have, then that's probably a problem. You should get rid of a few things and not buy stuff.
If I can't name the name of every knife I own, the steel and the handle material, it's gotta go.
It's excessive.
This next one might hit home for a lot of people. Living paycheck to paycheck is a thing that a lot of people actually do. It's honestly kind of a scary way to live because if anything goes wrong, you're automatically
You're hosed, you don't
negative.
have anything.
Yeah, you're done. And so if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you kind of need to relook at your spending. There's a ton of budget apps out there that we've reviewed, tons of them. Go check them out. But you have to make sure that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You're allocating some money to a rainy day fund, or even like some hobbies or goals or things like that. One of the last things we've thought of, and it may be slightly controversial, is using the Earnin app. I saw an ad for this Earnin app just a couple days ago, and I thought it was super interesting. What it does is you can get your paycheck early. So they'll kind of like loan you the amount early so that you have funds earlier. And I think that's a really dangerous game to play, because if you're just sitting there withdrawing funds earlier because you need them, chances are you're also living paycheck to paycheck, and that's a scary habit to get into.
So, do you guys lean more towards one way or the other? Do you have more of a spending problem or do you have more of a savings problem? And maybe it's something you should pause this video or stop and think about and really make some goals to try and change so that you can become more wealthy.
Because it doesn't matter if you make $500,000 a year or $30,000 a year. You could have a saving problem or a spending problem. Either way. And Ethan will still consider you poor.
Really, it comes down to this simple, cold, hard truth and fact. It doesn't matter if you make $100,000 or $500,000. If you have a spending problem or you're not saving your money, you're still gonna be poor and you're not gonna have any money. You're gonna still be living paycheck to paycheck, even if you make $500,000 a year. Some people can make $50,000 a year and have more money than someone who makes $200,000 a year because they're more wise and they save their money.
And really, I think it's hard for a lot of people to comprehend, like if you make $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year, how is it possible that you can be stressed about money and things like that? But I know so many stories of people who have made that much money, who've gone bankrupt, who've gone broke, and are stressed about how do I afford this next thing. On the other side, you could be making $50,000, $60,000 a year and be totally comfortable and totally okay and secure. It really all comes down to just living below your means.
Simple facts, guys, simple facts. All right, we hope these videos and these tips and tricks and the signs were helpful for you guys. If you were able to notice any in yourself, make sure you check that. We have a bunch of videos about how you can fix these, maybe some budgeting app videos. If you found value in this, make sure you drop us a like and subscribe, because that's the nice thing to do.
Yeah. Also, if this video maybe tweaked a nerve, made you a little upset, put you in a little bit of denial, maybe it's time to check out your spending and saving habits. Just a thought.
Just
Just throwing that out there.